Hey everybody, welcome back to the Pure Whitetail podcast. It's a warm Tuesday evening.
We finally got out of the cold snap we had.
Yeah, and by warm we mean like 34 degrees.
And we're walking around t-shirts.
Yeah, it feels like a heat wave. I was just working up in Grant's kitchen and walking outside to cut a piece of wood and had a t-shirt on. I was like, daggone, it's nice out here. And it's like 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
But
bring on spring.
Yeah, you ain't kidding, man. I really enjoy winter, but for some reason this one has been really extra long. It seems
I
like.
enjoy winter.
Huh? You don't enjoy winter? I love it.
I like when it snowed like this.
Yeah.
And I get watching my kids play out in it. And
yeah. And then when they're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like.
All right, let's bring on spring. Let's get it on.
Well, it didn't help us any that we were in Texas.
No.
Where it was 80 degrees and we got our brief taste of it for 4 days and then we had to come back right back to it.
I don't think they're going to let us back in Texas.
I don't think they are either. We brought some bad weather.
They're blaming us for it.
Record lows and all-time record lows. Oh, man. But it's been a busy week at Pure Whitetail. The past week we released our mineral, our Captivate, and seed, introduced 3 new blends. And it's been very, very popular.
You know what? We really saw the 3 new ones, but everybody's came to me and asked me about Masquerade.
Oh, I think Masquerade is going to be a huge product for us.
Like, I've been needing something like this.
Yep.
I'm like, all right.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And it's going to be very popular. That and our new premium blend is the 2 things that we haven't opened up for pre-order yet. Everything else we're pre-ordering right now. So if you guys are listening to the podcast and you haven't heard that we're pre-ordering stuff right now. And
it'll be here next week.
Yeah, it should be here next week. Yeah, but I will say that where our seed is bagged at, that they got hit very, very hard with the ice. It was very, very bad.
They're soft. These northern boys, you get put an inch of ice on the ground, we're ready.
Yeah, but then turning it on them, if we got 110 degrees, we'd all be dying.
Yeah, we would.
Yeah. So busy week at Pure Whitetail, and we tore one of my houses down.
Yeah.
So anybody that's been to my place for the bash or been in my place for any other reason, we called it my front house. The original plan was to redo it.
Yeah.
And it was just,
the floor joists were bad. It was just
the roof was bad.
Everything was bad in it. I mean,
ripped all the plumbing out of it, ripped all the electric out of it.
The money you would have spent to redo the house,
it would not have been worth it.
It would not have been worth it, and you would always had problems down the road.
Yep.
So
Grant and I
decided to get some equipment.
We rented a couple big pieces of equipment and tore the house down, so it's like gone. So if you're coming to the bash this year and you pull in and you always looked for the little white house to be able to find my driveway because I live way off the road, the little white house ain't there no more. Actually, your dad, Grant's dad, told me tonight when we was upstairs working that he said, "Man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find your house, find your driveway."
Well, I got a question. You talk about who's coming to the bash?
Hey, let me tell you something. A lot of people when we make a certain announcement. There's going to be a lot of people at the bash. I think it's
say this: if people miss your place because the little house isn't there, if they miss your place for the bash, because of the little house, they ain't looking hard. They blind. We're going to have so many signs out there, that you'll be able to find the bash.
Oh yeah, it's going to be.
Guarantee that.
Yeah, well, you're just look for the 1,000 cars that'll be parked there because it's going to be big time. We honestly,
the tour bus.
Yeah, we honestly believe that there's going to be that this bash will be bigger and better than all the previous bashes combined. We've been working really hard. Actually, this all started during last year's bash.
Yep.
We started preparing for this year's bash. So we're going to literally this year, we've been working since last July trying to set everything up, and to do what we're doing is a major undertaking. And we feel that.
You think they're going to get them, never mind. I better not say nothing. Never mind.
Here we go.
I'll be quiet today.
Yeah. So we think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's obviously going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be some changes that I think everybody be happy with. We're probably going to move the stage like we talked. Mm-hmm. But we are going to make some changes. I think it'll be good changes. It's going to be a very busy event.
You'll have your bubble suit on.
I'll have my bubble suit on. I've been to the emergency room like twice in the last 10 years, and both of them was because of the Pure Whitetail Staff bash.
You just party a little too hard.
I party hard, man. Yeah. So, but hey, I'm really looking forward to it. And I think, the whole premise of the Pure Whitetail Field Staff has always been to give back, right? And that's why when we created this was always to give back. And when we say that we look forward to that, it's a lot of work.
Oh, the week before the bash, I'm usually stressed out.
Yeah. It's a lot of work. It costs a lot of money, but we enjoy every single second of it because we get to hang out with our family. It's like a huge family reunion. I'm calling it. I'm thinking if I had to put a number on it, last year the numbers were down because of COVID. We think we had about 800 people there. Mm-hmm. The biggest bash before that was the year before, which would have been the third bash, and we think we had about 12 to 1,300. I think this bash will have 3,000 to 3,500 people there. That's what I think. What's your guess?
Mine was lower than that.
Yours was lower than that?
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm always the one that goes super low on. I'm very conservative guesser.
I'll hold my number right now.
Yeah. What do you think, Nate?
I think you're right. We're going to have 3,000, 3,500 people there. Yep. I'm going to say this. I don't think it'll be 3,000, 3,500 staffers. I think we're going to have staffers bring people.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's not just going to be, husband staffer. It's going to be husband, wife, kids, and a cousin, a brother, and a dad, and an uncle. And
right.
I think it's going to be a lot of extended stuff.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to have friends come out of the woodwork. Hey,
yeah,
I heard.
Yeah.
I heard. Can I come?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's going to happen. But hey, that's what we're all about. The more, the merrier. We just want everybody to have a good time, and that's. When we make this announcement, that everybody's going to be like, whoa.
Boy.
Yeah, oh boy.
Oh boy.
So let's move on to another subject before one of us slips up.
Yeah. We had the snow bet.
Yeah, we did have a snow bet, yep.
And I said if I didn't get it right, I'd give something away. So the way you got to do it now is on this podcast, we put it on YouTube. You have to comment on on this YouTube one.
Number 5.
Mm-hmm. And then we'll pick you from there, and I'm going to give you a little Pure Whitetail package.
Yep.
Head your way.
Yep.
So, because I lost.
Yep. Hunter actually won. Hunter's not here tonight, so I told him that we might be running a little late tonight with the work we was doing upstairs. So he's got to get up and go to work early in the morning. So he decided to hang back, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but he was the winner of the snow guess. So congratulations to Hunter on that. He'll take a victory any way he can get.
He'll take a victory no matter what. He'll take it.
Yeah. So. But we got that going on, and been a busy week. Like we said, we tore the house down. We got the seed pre-selling, pre-order for the seed, the full throttle.
My kitchen's missing.
Your kitchen is gone. We done that too. We did have a busy week, man. We tore your floor up. You're put all new subfloor down. I just finished that tonight. We've been kind of busy.
Yeah.
But we had a really good week. We gave away some Pure Strutter signs. I forgot to give away the last 2 today, but I'll do that tomorrow.
I'll come tomorrow.
You think you're going to show up for work tomorrow?
Yeah.
Are you?
I'm injured a little bit.
Yeah, you're down.
But it don't melt me. I'm not going to show up.
Okay.
I mean, I will give Josh credit tonight. Him and my dad, Nate, showed up. Had to do the rest of the floor because they made me sit in a chair.
I made him sit in a chair. I told him. I said,
get up and he sit your butt back down right now.
Sit down. I'll be like, and then finally he wouldn't listen, so he wasn't doing a very good job listening. So I called Rachel. Rachel was in the other room, and I said, Rachel, I said, come here.
Will you help me?
I said, I need your help. And she come in there. She goes, what do you need? I said, make him sit down. And boy, when Rachel got involved, he sat down, didn't he, Nate? He sat down and didn't move the rest of the night. And all I had to do was I was like, you want me to get Rachel? He's like, I'm sorry.
I did get a text this morning. She goes, I need you better. So you better get fixed and quit because I ain't putting up with this.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I mean,
it's rough, man. I've been there. I've been doing it. I've been dealing with it for 25 years.
Yeah, I don't know. I hurt my back, and I'll say I am not the most sympathy.
Yeah, you're not very sympathetic.
No, I am not.
Yeah,
I'm a very emotional person, but if you're hurt, I just tell you to suck it up. I mean, am I lying, Josh?
No, you're not lying. Like when my back goes out, he's like, I can't tell you what he really says, but he's like, suck it up. And then now his back's out, and I have not said that to you.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, because I can sympathize, and Nate can too. Nate has a bad back too, and a big shout out to the only. Let me give a shout out to somebody that deserves it. Okay, so David Usler, Dr. Usler in Middletown, Ohio, has literally changed my life. When my back is so bad. First of all, I got a bulging disc, a protruding disc, and a herniated disc in my back, and I have severe muscle spasms all the time.
I got 4. No, I don't have nothing, but
I used to, and Grant has seen it firsthand. Me walking into the steel mill back in the day, bent almost at a 90-degree angle.
Hold on. I've seen you walking in your house with a cane.
Yeah.
Like he comes to the door with the cane. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. And I mean, it's bad. Yeah.
I kind of feel your pain now.
Yeah. And
I think this is God saying, quit picking on Josh.
That's
what he's saying.
Right. But Dr. Usler in Middletown, Ohio, he's a chiropractor, and I'm telling you what, I seen before I started seeing him, I had seen probably 4 other chiropractors that I'm just going to be perfectly honest with you, and I'm sure a lot of you have had the same experience that did absolutely nothing for me. And actually, I felt like it made me worse. And my quality of life before I started seeing Usler was terrible.
It was every few months you were down.
Oh, yeah, like literally walking with a cane.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started seeing Usler about what was it? 3 years? 2 years? No, it's been just over 2 years. Okay, because I started seeing him in like January or February of 19, or no, it was actually December of 2019. I'm telling you, people, if you're in this area, and you got back problems, he knows what he's doing.
But you have to listen to him.
Yeah, you got to do what he says. And I mean, but I'm telling you, he has changed my life. And Grant knows better than anybody. There's 2 people that know better than anybody, Heather and my kids, and Grant, because Grant has been on a lot of hunts with me where I was just like total misery. Like,
I was debating on shooting a deer, going ahead and shoot Josh, put him out of his misery.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have been mad at him to just shoot me and put me out of my misery. But Dr. Usler in Middletown, Ohio, a matter of fact, Nate, myself, and Grant all see him, and I see him at least once a week. But he has totally transformed my quality of life. I feel better now than I ever have.
I go when I finally hurt myself good enough where I can't hardly walk.
Right. But just a huge shout out to him. He's he knows what he's doing. He's fantastic. But he has literally changed my life.
So everybody does UFC.
Oh yeah.
So he took care of Rich Franklin.
Yep, he traveled with Rich Franklin. He was at ringside with Rich, UFC middleweight champion Rich Franklin is from our hometown. And he traveled everywhere with him. Yeah, I mean, he was right there with Rich and traveled all over the world.
He said, you're like, not like fighting wise, but he's like, you're like Rich Franklin. I told Rich, I said, you come in here, I'll work on you today, you'll be at 70%. Yeah. And you can stay there. Rest the week, rest the month. He said, if you give me 3 days and not do nothing, I'll have you back to 100%.
Yep.
So where do you want to be?
Right.
I was like, I won't do nothing.
Exactly. Yeah, but you wasn't listening before I got here. Because I got the report from your dad and Rachel. Said you were doing too much.
I wasn't doing too much. I didn't pick nothing up.
Okay. Well, you shouldn't be bending over. But anyway, so a big shout out to Dr. Usler. He's amazing. Actually, his son interned for us here at the farm.
I don't know if he's still doing it or he's wanting to be a game warden.
Yep. So he worked here at the farm in the beginning days of the Pure Whitetail farm here. So, big shout out to him. Thanks for keeping us walking. But what we're going to get into today, guys.
I got one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
For you.
Go ahead.
Did you ever think cardboard would be that expensive?
Oh Lord, I forgot about that this week.
We've had a good week, and we had some setbacks this week.
Yeah. We had a setback on cardboard, but you had a really good idea about plastic. So I feel really good about the week in general, but I don't feel good about the cardboard.
I mean, no, it's no lie. We're trying to do some retail stuff this year.
Yep.
And we were building a big display case for our Cinemator line. And I guess me and Josh live in fairyland sometimes because
man, you ain't kidding.
He told me, and we didn't expect that. And we asked the other guys, they were like, "Oh, I expected they were higher than what we thought."
Yeah, right.
And
yeah, we got a quote for a fully digitally printed display box, which we figured, okay, if we buy 250 to 500 of them, we'd get a break and it wouldn't be that bad. But we got the email with the quote in it, and we about passed out. So needless to say, you won't see any digitally printed sit illumination boxes at any stores. So it'll just be on the shelf.
Cardboard's too expensive.
Cardboard's expensive. Yep.
I mean, I feel like I could build that out of wood.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Well, you could. Well, I mean, it would be cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it would literally be cheaper to build it out of wood.
Well, I mean, if you look at like Trophy Rock.
Yeah,
it's a wooden crate.
Yeah, and theirs is. Yeah, that's right.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah. We're just
no, don't be looking at me.
You want to just build a crate and throw a bunch of. Hey, I know I'm personal friends with Gene, the owner of Trophy Rock. I'll just call him up, ask him if he's got any little wood paint over it, put Pure Whitetail, get some skids. But anyway, so. That we had that this week. I forgot about that. But this week we're going to talk a little bit. We got one of our Pure Whitetail staffers wanted us to dive in and talk a little bit about leasing property. So I guess we're gonna dive in and talk about that. That's a very controversial subject out in social media world.
On both sides of it, I do it because we have to.
Have to. That's
right.
But
I hate doing it.
Yep.
In the other hand.
Yep. So I know back when I first started bow hunting, like early 90s, you could literally, well, it's like 89 or 90, I guess. You could knock on a door and say, "Hey, would you care if I deer hunted?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead."
Yeah.
And then, then up around, the year probably like 2000, it just like all of a sudden something clicked. And nobody would let you hunt. And then it was like, what year? Let's see. I started leasing one of the local farms around me, probably about 2005, probably right in there. And then I got the lease over in Claremont like 2 years before you come on with it. And that was probably around 2010-ish, wouldn't you say? Because you come on like at 2012, right? I think that's about it. Because it's 21.
I started the mill 2007, 2008, I think.
Yeah, so that was probably about right.
You 2010.
Yeah, about 2010, 2011, right in there.
Yeah.
So Grant was on a few of the leases with me, but at the height. I had 12 farms leased all around me and going down along the Ohio River in Claremont County, which was like undescribable how good it was. Man. I mean, it wasn't good as our buddy Eldon's in Iowa, but
I'd give anything to have Claremont back.
But it was very, very good. It was. Asked me
to fill them feed sacks back up again.
Oh yeah, yeah. Speaking of that, one time we baited down there, and Grant, I said me and Grant and I had bought a gravity wagon, off of a farmer we both used to work for, and we took that gravity wagon we were feeding so much with that many leases. We were feeding so much that we bought our own gravity wagon, went to the feed mill, to the co-op, filled it up, and then parked it in my barn, and then we would fill the bags up. So I was working a double or something. Yeah, something, because me and you worked on the same shift.
I had to work a double. You said, fill the sacks up for me. I'll run down there, just have the sacks ready to go when I wake up. Because I worked 3:11 midnight, and you were on midnights.
Yep.
So you went down and fed.
Yep. So I said, Grant, fill them feed bags up for me. And I guarantee you, they were 100 pounds apiece. I'm like,
didn't you eat it?
Oh, son, let me tell you. I'm like, I'm like, well, I'm going to do this. And it was one of them bets too that you called and said, hey, I filled them bags up. I bet you can't carry both of them at the same time. It was one of them, something like that.
And there was snow on the ground.
And there was snow on the ground. And so, and keep in mind, like I said, I had a bad back. So I'm like, heck with it. I'm going to carry both of these dang bags, 200 pounds worth of shelled corn. And I tried, and there was just a little bit of an incline with snow on it, and man, I ate it. And one bag, the bag busted. So it's like halfway between the truck and the blind, there was 80 pounds of corn laying in the trail. But back then, I had a lot of leases. I think I had 12. Me and you had like 3 or 4 together. I had a total of 12. I was trying to lease as much as I could for my kids because my wife hunted, my kids hunted. So I tried to, I just obsessed with it back then. Still am, but not to the point that I was back then. But, leasing all them farms. So what I'm getting at is, even no matter how much money you had in your checkbook, you could not find 12 leases within 2 hours of us right now. Am I right?
You're 100% right. There was a farm that I used to live by.
Yep, right.
And I wanted to hunt this farm so bad. Mm-hmm. And he wouldn't let nobody hunt it. Mm-hmm. Nothing. And I went and offered him stupid money just to see if I could get him to say yeah.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't.
It's amazing what it's come to, I mean,
like talk. Go work for the farmers, help the farmers out. It might get you in there.
Maybe.
But now the big thing is farmers are always worried about what if you get hurt. If you get hurt on my property, then I'm liable for it. Mm-hmm. That's the big thing they say now to us.
That's society's fault because everybody's sue happy now.
Yeah. Rachel made a post back in early spring last year.
Summer.
Yep. Looking for land. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate people that offered us their spots to hunt and stuff, but they were like, 2, 3, 4, 5 acre spots where you're just catching pass-through deer.
Right.
And you weren't,
Yeah, none of them was a place you could go plant a food plot.
No, you can't.
And really hunt it.
And raise deer.
Yeah, right. So, manage deer. Yeah.
So, it's been a struggle here for us in Ohio. Yeah,
a big struggle, yeah.
Well, I assume it's a struggle everywhere, and I hate the leasing, but our hands got forced to lease.
Yep.
Because we didn't have no other option.
There's no other option. Nobody would let you hunt if you didn't lease, Yeah. And so to give you guys an idea, Grant was in on, I think, 4 leases with me. I had a total of 12. Now Grant has 1, and I have 2.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And
my personal place, but that's it.
If me and you took off today, it was getting close to hunting season, and we were gonna go drive farm to farm to farm to try to get. You think we'd get any?
No,
I don't either.
No, I mean that by saying
I'm not trying to sound mean to no. That's fine. You tell me no, but
right, and that's
hard.
And that's with even offering to pay. Yeah. I don't think we'd find one.
No,
even offering to pay. And I've seen. There's some people out there right now that will go to a farmer, they're a company, they'll provide insurance to the farmer, then provide insurance to the people who lease it, but we're talking like $40 an acre.
Yeah.
That is just like, it's
it ain't worth it to me.
No, it's totally out of control. And here's the thing, and then this brings up a whole nother subject. So let's take the guy, let's put it in something that we know. So you got a guy that works at a steel mill, right?
Yep.
So let's say he gets 2 weeks vacation a year, and he loves the deer hunt. He can't find no place, and this is what gets me. He can't find no place to hunt around here, which is realistic. Okay. Yeah. It's not like other parts of the country where you just knock on a door and because there is still places like that. There's still a lot of places like that. Most of them is west of the Mississippi. There is a lot of places like that. But here, where we at, the realistic vision, or what is real, is you're not going to find a place to hunt, and if you do, it ain't going to be that good. But there
is that one chance.
There is that one chance.
I don't want to put anybody down trying.
Right.
There's always that one chance.
Yeah, I got very, very lucky that I've had one for a long time, and I've held on to it, and I'm very, very blessed to be able to hunt the two that I have. The one is really good, that where Hunter just killed the buck at. I've just been very lucky to hang on to it.
But be honest, the farmer's getting old, isn't he?
The farmer's getting old, and I'm getting nervous.
Yep.
Yeah. But the guy that works a manufacturing job, or any job, gets 2 weeks of vacation. And here's what gets me. What upsets me is, okay, that guy's like, well, I can't. Number one, he either can't afford to lease, don't have time to plant his own food plot, or pour out bait, or in Ohio's case, pour out bait. He doesn't have time to do that. So what does he do? He books a hunt with an outfitter. And then this goes back to a couple episodes ago about being shamed about your bucks and stuff. That's another thing is, well, why'd you go hunt with an outfitter for? Why don't you do it yourself? Well, everybody's life is totally different than anybody's else, right? They don't have the time or the resources, or maybe they work a demanding job. Maybe they're a doctor. Maybe they're, maybe they work 7 days a week.
A steel mill worker.
Yeah, a steel mill worker, a paper mill worker. They work 7 days a week. Yeah. Swing shift like we do. Unless you get lucky and find a place close to your house, working swing shift at a steel mill, it sucks to try to keep all that up, because I've been there, done it.
You work 7 days and you get 2 days off. The one day you're off, you're recovering from the 7 days you just worked.
Yeah.
The next day
you're preparing to go into the next shift.
You're preparing and doing mowing grass, doing all the things that need done at home.
Right.
Trying to spend time with family.
Yep. And that's why because I will admit, I killed my first outfitted whitetail this year out in Kansas. Mm-hmm. And it was an amazing experience. I loved it. I really, really enjoyed the person that I hunted with, and I'll just go ahead and give him a shout out. It's Ray Petro from Monster Rack Adventures in Kansas, and fantastic. It was actually the first whitetail outfitted hunt I'd ever been on. All the bucks I've killed in the past has either been with a buddy, or on public land, or I just did it myself. And that was the first one that I'd been on that was an outfitted hunt for a whitetail, and I can't wait to go back, because it takes a lot for somebody who's busy. Everybody's situation is different. I hate to see it on social media where somebody does go and kill something with an outfitter, and then everybody's like, "Did you do this to yourself, or did you go with an outfitter?" Well, maybe you got time to go out there and spend 3 weeks or a month straight scouting, but maybe that guy doesn't, and that all ties back in to, number one, not being any land, or the land's too expensive to lease, or you just simply can't even find one to lease.
Yep.
And most of the time it's the latter is, you just can't find one to lease no matter how much money you got or you offer.
Say in our township area, we're not country no more. I consider we're suburbs.
Yeah,
and the farms have been divided up so much where
it's 20 acres.
It's 20 acres. I mean,
or less.
Yeah, there's a few. There's a handful of probably 15 farms that are over 100 still.
Yeah,
acres here.
And that's I would say that's probably right.
Yeah,
so, Chris Sather would know better because he works for the township. But,
but that's just me trying to think out the top of my head all the farms
Yeah,
I used to work for,
probably
and
right. Yeah,
I grew up here, so we kind of knew what goes on.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, That's hard to do.
It's hard to do. And, I give you a perfect example of people not. Society in general has such a negative thought on hunting, and especially deer hunting, because they see it as the little Bambi. Back in 2009, and I've told you this story before, Grant, and you've heard me tell other people. Mm-hmm. Back in 2009, I was chasing a buck, and I actually started chasing him in 2006, and I called him Old Drop Time. So he was an amazing deer, and he had a big drop off one side, and I'd never killed a deer with a drop time before. And I'm like, man, no matter what, I got to kill this deer. So, and this was back in my steel mill days. I was working 80 hours a week. So I had a little bit of money, I mean, I killed myself to have a little bit of money. So this deer, I don't know if you remember this, but you remember when we had the hurricane come through.
Oh, yeah.
So that was 2009.
No, that was 2008. Because I was taking my daughter back to the hospital that day because she had jaundice.
Okay, so that was 8.
Yep.
Okay.
I remember looking.
Okay.
I remember looking in the hospital.
8.5, 6.5. Okay, so that deer. So if that was 2008, drop time was 6.5 years old. Okay, so that's when all the corn got knocked down.
Yep.
Okay, so I was hunting on a tree line on my lease, and I could see I was overlooking a big cornfield, but I did not have permission to hunt the cornfield. All I had was the tree line. Well, I was facing to the north, and I could see all these bucks and does were coming out the same trail every night. Every night I was on day turn, and these deer were coming out. I was hunting every evening, and these deer were coming out in the same spot. Well, muzzleloader season was coming up. They were coming out the same spot. Anyway, long story short, I went around to that other farm, and I asked that lady, I said, ma'am, I said, blah, 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 I'm your neighbor. I hunt over here. I said, there's one in particular older buck that I would like to, I made it sound very good. I said, I'd love to take him out of the herd. He's old. He probably ain't going to make it to next year. I really smoothed it on, Yeah. And I said, I would like to just sit by the corner of your barn one night. Muzzleloader season starts tomorrow. It would only take me one night, and I could kill this deer. And, we'd take him out of the herd, and then it would be better for, I made it,
Yeah.
And she goes, and I said, I will happily pay for that opportunity. And she goes, no. I was like, well, would $200 for one night change your mind? And she goes, no, I don't think so. And keep in mind, this is like my third year chasing this deer. I really wanted this drop time buck. So I was like, okay. And I was like, well, how about $500 for one night? And I was like, that's all I need. I said, whether I kill him or not, I'll give you $500 for one night. And I'm thinking in my head, man, I got to work 5 doubles to make that money back, because I got a wife and 3 kids, So, but I really wanted this deer. And she goes, no, honey, she said, it doesn't matter how much money you offer me. She goes, I won't let you hunt. And I'm like, all right. So next night it's muzzleloader season. Of course, I'm sitting on that tree line with the muzzleloader, and what do you know? What's he do? Steps right out, same trail. But I did have permission to go in and off of the farm that they were coming out of, that they were bedding in. I ended up finding the shed and found that shed. Long story short, 2 years later, I ended up killing him. But he ended up being 8.5 years old when I killed him, 14-inch drop. But I would have loved to kill him because he actually lost a lot of inches from when, if that lady would have let me. But that just proves that I offered that lady, huh?
You know what you did wrong?
I can't even imagine. Won't you let me? Won't you tell me?
You didn't wink at her.
Oh, I didn't wink at her.
If you gave her the old Martin wink, she might have. She'd been like, yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah. Well, she didn't let me, but that just goes to prove that I would never do that again. I would never offer that kind of money. I don't have the ability to work doubles anymore, obviously, even though I work a double almost every day, but I don't have the ability to do it at a steel mill where I'm guaranteed to get paid for it. It just goes to prove that no matter how much money you got, people have such a negative thought process on hunting, that is unfortunately for us as hunters and for the hunting community, that is like common now, at least in our part of the country. Now,
I'm gonna argue, in our part
of the country.
This year, I shot by Big Muley.
Yeah,
old Terry pulls down to the farm.
Yeah,
he knocks on the farmer's door.
Totally different part of the country, though.
And he goes, "Yeah, I got Big Muleys. I got quite a few too."
Yep.
And Terry goes, "Yeah, we seen him." And he goes, "Well, it's your guys' lucky day." Here comes Terry running.
Yeah, and that's all you had to do was, and you did not pay.
No, but you know what I did after that? We went and bought him a grocery gift card out there.
Yeah.
And we took a grocery gift card back to him.
Now see that's right.
Spent some money, gave him, so he can buy his groceries next time, and we bought them for him.
Yep. Now see that now, and he'll remember that, and that puts a positive light on hunters by doing something like that. That was like, so maybe next time when you go out there and knock on the door, he's gonna be like, "Yeah, I remember you guys." Yeah. So, but it just, and that's different parts of the country too. So that's here that wouldn't work.
No, they don't care.
They don't care. They're like, no, But once you hit it, from our experience, once you hit Iowa and on,
how many people wave at you around here?
0.
But out there,
yeah, everybody.
Yep,
everybody. And
you drive down the road and everybody's waving at you.
You drive down the road in Iowa, everybody waves at you.
Mm-hmm.
At least on the back roads, everybody waves at you. You drive down the road in North Dakota, everybody waves. Montana, well, even in Kentucky, where my place is in Kentucky, where I hunt with Dale down there, everybody still waves at you. It's just like this. I really hate to be the negative one, but
you say around here, you're talking about Dayton to Cincinnati, a little bit outside. But if you go up to where I hunt, up around Washington Courthouse,
Washington Courthouse is a lot more country.
They're still friendly, and all I got to do is name drop up there. Really, say my cousin's last name, and everybody knows.
I'm the dollar.
Do you say I'm VP?
I'm VP dollar.
No. I drop his last name, and everybody up there knows him. He has 1,200 acres.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Listen to this.
Excuse me?
We're sitting here complaining about it.
We're complaining about. Hold on just a minute. Wait a minute.
Washington Courthouse ain't that far, bro.
Time out. We're sitting here talking about not having any place to hunt. And you just say that your uncle's got or cousin's got 1,200 acres. Is it for lease? Can we lease the hunting rights?
I don't know. I've asked him about bringing Grant up there before and coyote hunting.
Yeah. And
he said, "Come on."
Can we shed hunt it?
Yeah, because he's a farmer. He'll let you shed hunt full of time.
Can you please ask him? Because I'd love to shed hunt.
We're working a deal out right here.
Yeah, see this, guys? We're working a deal. This is how you work this. We're talking about leasing, and we're just showing you how this works.
But up there, I've hunted a lot of farms up there.
Nate might get a 50-cent bonus if he on his paycheck.
I'll talk to him. I'll see what I can do.
It'll be 0.50. I would love to shed hunt.
I've got other places before with
listen to this.
Let's see.
Just talking to him. I don't get the opportunity to hunt as much as what I like to.
Well, and what's your excuse now? Well, there is a rule at Pure Whitetail. If you say you're going hunting, you can be late for work.
Yeah, you're allowed to be late for work.
So
that's right. That's right.
Don't give me an excuse now.
And this year would have been different if it wouldn't have been for COVID. I'm still a 6th grade teacher from 9 till noon every day.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
he's a bus driver.
I'm a bus driver when they go to school, but then I'm a 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, and 7th grade teacher.
They're in school.
I feel sorry for my kids.
My daughter is not, but
don't know how to frame a house up. Put it that way.
I got another place that's 980 acres. We're not allowed to deer hunt though. It's just turkey.
Are you serious right now?
It's in eastern Ohio.
What, Nate?
Y'all never ask me if I have any hunting license. It's not like I'm keeping it a secret.
So hold on. So all them times in the shop, So all them times in the shop when me and Grant was like, we lost another lease. We lost another lease. We lost another lease. We ain't got no place to hunt. And you're just sitting over here like,
Hey, I'm doing the Nate thing right now.
I wonder if they'll ask me.
Have you ever asked me, Nate? Do you have? No, you've never asked me that. You've never.
Nate Dollar.
Yes.
Do you have any place that I could possibly do some turkey hunting or some shed hunting this spring?
I will work on it.
I would really appreciate that.
I'm in amazement right now.
I apologize, guys, that I didn't. Just
So
offer up this
take Nate over there.
So 1,200 acres and 900 acres.
I'd be happy to take Nate over there and get him a turkey.
Oh, that would
make me happier than anything.
Are you calling or am I calling?
Yeah, I'll let you call. I'll film.
So my cousin.
I can call.
You can. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? It sounds like a freaking somebody. That's pretty good for just your mouth, but you you got to be loud enough to where they can hear it.
Oh, I get loud.
It's pretty rough.
Shoot.
You are better than you was. I mean, like you guys got that one friend that you're like, oh my gosh, I wish he'd quit calling.
Whatever, bro.
That used to be Grant with coyotes, though.
Bull crap.
Oh man,
I've called more coyotes than for you. And
you have, but there for a minute when you were practicing your coyote call, and that's all you used to do.
I will give Grant this. He can call coyotes. I will get. But I guess I must not have hunted coyote hunted with him in the beginning.
Let me explain. I don't use a voice box set out in front of you. I have coyote reeds, like a turkey reed, where you howl and you do different howls to bring them in.
Yeah,
and it works a whole lot better. If you guys, for coyote hunters, if you howl for them, they come.
Mm-hmm. Hey Nate, guess what this is? That's my hot female. Okay, Grant. Okay.
Whatever.
Did you notice how he changed the subject about having 2,100 acres?
I know. Bad mouthing me now.
Yeah, daggone. Oh, speaking of coyotes, so Hunter leaves early for work in the morning. Calls Heather back. Heather gets up at 5 a.m. to go to work. In other words, walk downstairs to go in her office. And Hunter calls Heather as he was leaving. As he was walking by the truck, he said the coyotes were in the creek.
Really?
At the house. And we got 6, Martin kennels. We got 6 small dogs. Coyotes will climb a fence.
Oh, yeah. I got, when I had up my chicken farm, I was wondering how the coyotes were getting my chickens. Because they weren't getting there, because I hot-wired the lower part of it because I had my bird dog, and she would go underneath, so I had to keep her out.
Yep.
He was climbing over the fence, into the chicken house, and then back over the fence.
That's unbelievable.
I mean, like a human.
Yeah.
Climbing, cattle fence, square panel fence. You know how I fixed them?
Huh.
My chickens became 700 WLW fans.
Kept the radio on.
Kept the radio on all the time, and never had a problem.
Really?
Heard voices.
So they stayed. That's pretty smart.
They laid better.
That don't work for mice though.
No,
I've tried that. I've tried that in the barn, my older barn.
They don't care about that.
No, they don't care.
It works for coyotes and coons and possums and the bigger rodents.
Wow.
It works great for, but I had 700 WLW chickens.
Yeah, because maybe that's where I'd heard that first. I think that might be because I had told Heather when Hunter called back and Heather said that Hunter heard the coyotes. I said, better, coyotes will climb a fence especially to get little dogs. And all my dogs were tiny, little dogs
under 10 pounds.
Yeah.
Well, Marley's probably
Marley's 20, but the rest of them are 10 pounders, and 20 ain't gonna make no difference.
No, they get in there and play with them, and then they grab a hold of them, and
they're gone. Yeah. So, but heck, I seen a video just last week on. It was a 50 or 60 pound dog.
Yeah.
Coyote got, man. I mean, they're just ruthless.
Yeah.
It's terrible. But yeah, I mean that, getting back to the leasing thing and Nate screwing our eyes out over the last 10 years, by not letting us know he's got 2,100 acres that we could go hunt. Man, I just can't get over that. I can't even concentrate on doing the podcast because
Eastern Ohio. How many trips we make Eastern Ohio on 311s to go turkey hunting?
Oh yeah, yeah, no kidding.
3-hour drive, and we get up and go.
When turkey season gets a little bit closer, we'll tell that story about your first turkey hunt. That'd be pretty good.
Whatever.
But so Nate, you're going to get us permission to at least get us in the door and shed hunt, right?
I will ask. I mean,
okay. And if he doesn't like coyotes, we'll go up. We'll all three go up and try to kill some coyotes too.
Oh, he'll say, "Come on with that."
Okay, well, how about we just go coyote hunting, and maybe take a little walk and.
He'll let you shed hunt because he don't want them sheds in his tractor tires.
No, he don't want. Yeah.
So, well, yeah, I'm sure he's.
Yeah, especially if he's got crop fields, we can take a side by side and just
up and down them.
Up and down the crop fields.
The best way to do that, little tip, is to put somebody in the bed and let them stand up while you drive, and they overlook everything, and usually they catch the sheds.
Yep, that's a good idea, really. Yeah, I've never done that before. But yeah, so getting back to leasing thing, Nate just got us all flustered and off track there a little bit. Holy moly.
But I feel your guys' pains. I mean, what but I'm going to ask you, what is your answer of fixing it?
Outfitter.
So,
and I want to tell you this. So, there's a lot of negative talk about outfitter because because they've never done it before, or they've never been, or that the person down in an outfitter, somebody that is hunting with an outfitter, they have a totally different outlook, and they probably have multiple farms. They can probably knock on the door and say, "Yeah, you can hunt," and it cracks me up. It cracks me up when somebody in Iowa downs somebody in Pennsylvania or Ohio, or that lives
Michigan,
in an area,
Indiana.
Michigan, Indiana, or an area populated area, that downs somebody for going and hunting with an outfitter. That guy that lives in Iowa, Montana, wherever,
Kansas,
wherever. that it's really easy to knock on a door and get permission.
You guys still got
hunt.
Country.
Yeah, exactly. And it kills me when people down somebody for going and hunting with an outfitter. Now, let me ask you this, Grant, and I know you know the answer. What do I spend more money on, that one outfitted hunt I went on, or the one lease that I got?
Your one lease.
Absolutely.
100%.
It's probably double.
If you truly want to take care of a lease of property, if you want food plot it, we're allowed to bait here in Ohio, bait it, stands, everything.
Cameras.
Yeah. The outfit hunt will be cheaper.
Well, considerably cheaper.
I'm just going to say, I didn't go to Kansas, but you told me about that outfitter there. He lets you do the hunting.
Right. Yeah.
And
right.
Most outfitters, do your research on outfitter. I mean, do homework. Just don't go with any outfitter. Yep. Do your homework.
So I'm usually the one that books Grant and I's
You're
hunts.
my booking agency.
Yeah. So I'm usually the one that picks how long does it take me?
6 months to a year to say yes to somebody.
Yep. Because I do the homework, and we've been on the bad ones before.
We've been on the bad ones.
And that's why it takes 6 months or a year for me to decide if we're going to hunt with a certain outfit or not.
I mean, we've been on a lot of hunts, and when it's bad, me and Josh could look at each other and we're like, oh boy.
Yeah, oh boy. Yeah.
We're in trouble this time.
And it's when it happens, it's my fault because I'm the one that says we're going here or we're going there. But we've got some good ones now. We've been on some good ones. We weeded out some bad ones, but we've been on some good ones.
I'm not saying we're special by no means at all.
Oh no,
but if you see me and Josh go back somewhere again,
that's a good one.
That's a good one. Yeah. I mean, if you watch another person, they keep going back to that outfitter.
Yeah, they're getting their money's worth.
They're getting their money worth, and it's worth it.
Yep. We hunted with Brad Kuhlman this year, Extreme Dream Outfitters for Muley. We rebooked with him. He had a lot of deer. We actually booked with him the following year for antelope.
We're taking the whole family.
Taking the whole family. He's 8 years now. Think about this.
He ain't met your Aunt Neil yet.
He's 8. There is going to be some pressure right there. He's 100% on antelope with bow and gun for 8 years in a row.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's an insane.
I do want to say something
stat
about all that. If you miss or you choose not to shoot an animal at an opportunity, And I'm not saying, we go back to being small, big. It's whatever you decide in life.
Right.
But outfitter provided you the opportunity. That's not the outfitter's fault.
Yeah, if you miss or whatever, yeah.
So, yep. If you draw blood.
Oh, yeah, that's considered a kill at 99% of the outfitters. If you draw blood, that's your animal.
Yeah.
Whether you find it or not, yep.
And all ones we've been on, we've always found them.
Luckily.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
But they they try their hardest.
Yep.
And it's like you ain't just going to walk over the hill and sometimes find an animal.
Right, yep.
So,
but yeah, if you're having a hard time leasing, seriously consider doing your homework and by all means, if you see Grant and I going back to a certain place over and over again, Paradise Bay for black bear. I promise you, as long as we can get into Canada, me personally, I can't speak for Grant because we live a different life, but I will go every single year I can possibly go on that hunt because it's that much fun.
It's fun. Oh, I got younger kids.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So I've still got that to raise. Got my kids to raise, and I got to be here at home.
Right.
But
mine are gone, so I can.
Yeah.
I've been there, done that, so I can go a little bit more.
Yeah. So, but every chance I can get to go to Paradise.
Oh man.
I want to go.
Yeah.
Because it's not the bear hunting. Bear hunting's neat.
Yeah.
It's everything else.
It's everything else. It's Paradise. It's the camp. It's Daniel himself. It's his dad. It's the.
What's the dog's name?
Huh?
What's the dog's name?
Oh boy, you asked me quick. I don't know. He's still on my phone. I like the dog. I got. Oh man, Daniel listens to our podcast, so he's gonna kill me.
I can't remember yesterday.
Yeah, but man, daggone it.
That's hard to remember.
Yeah, it's hard to remember. I'll think of it as soon as the podcast is over. I'll think of it. But just really good outfitters are very, very hard to come by. And if you see Grant and I going back again and again to some place, and we actually are like, hey, you guys need to go here. Save up your money, go here.
It's worth it.
It's worth it. But if you're having trouble leasing, if you can't find a lease, you're frustrated, and you think you don't have the money to go on an outfitted hunt, your lease is going to be more expensive in the long run, especially if you live in a state where you're baiting or you're putting food plots in, you're running cameras. I mean, think of all the money that entails, but by all means,
keep trying to get a place.
Keep trying to get a place because there's nothing more gratifying than doing it yourself, planting your own food plot, putting out your mineral, watching the deer grow, and doing it like that. There's nothing can compare to doing it yourself.
Or even walking in on public land.
Oh, yeah.
I know a few guys that, I'll tell you, Caesar's Creek.
Oh, yeah.
That kill big deer.
Yep.
Every year over there. Yep. And it's a publicly land.
Public land, yeah. I killed my first buck on public land.
See,
at Houston Woods.
There you go.
Yep. I killed my first buck on public land with the bow at Houston Woods.
So there is still public land out there too.
Yep.
So don't give up.
Yep.
You're not going to give up because we've already said that we're going to take a day and start driving around again and knocking on doors.
Knocking on doors, yeah.
And just,
But don't forget, don't think that outfitted hunts are just save your money.
Yeah. They'll go hunt a whitetail in Kansas. What's the roundabout price of that?
He's actually very, very. I believe it's $28 or $28.50 to hunt with the outfitter that I did. And keep in mind, guys, they killed 4 booners last year. 2 of them were over 200. Another one was 170. Another one. So they killed a 170, a 180, and 2 200s.
All right, we're gonna do math really quick.
Yeah.
I found me a farm, Josh. It's 150 acres. Just even numbers. I'm gonna give him $10 an acre for it.
That's impossible.
But
you're gonna give him 20. You're not the days of $10 an acre are gone. They're gone. Most of them are 30 to 40 now. So let's we'll go way low and say 20.
Okay, 20. I'm gonna give you $20. I'm giving $20.
You're already more than the outfitter fee, $3,000.
I ain't baited it yet or put my stands.
You ain't done nothing. You ain't bought tree stands. You ain't bought blinds. You ain't planting food plots. You ain't put out mineral.
I've got my tree stands.
Okay.
I've got a camera, but I got new batteries.
Okay.
And then I'm going to put a food plot out.
Okay.
So I'm going to be upwards of probably $4,000 by the time I'm done.
Outfitter's $2,800 to go with a very, very good outfitter.
And what Josh told me, He pointed at your spot, and you drove your truck to your spot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And like you go in the morning, you get. I mean, it ain't holding your hand. You know it. Ain't, but
the guy ain't going with you, sitting with you.
No. You're doing it yourself. No. And he pointed a mile away when he dropped me off. You know, while I followed him to the spot, parked my truck. He said, "Walk that way a mile to the creek." He said, "You'll see some ribbons tied on a tree. Follow them ribbons, and you'll see the tree stand." And he said, "You got it for the rest of the week." He said, "Hunt when you want." He said, "This farm's you're hunting this farm." And he said, "Hunt when you want." He said, "If you don't want to get up and go in the morning, don't go." He said, "If you don't want to hunt in the evening, you want to hang out in the lodge, don't go." He said, "I don't care. It's your money." And I'm like, heck yeah, this is my kind of outfitter right here.
Yeah.
So, and that's Ray Petro with Monster Rack Adventures. He is, but no, Scott's going with me this year.
Yep.
So Scott's going with me on that. And that's going to be, and Scott will really like that too. He'll really appreciate the freedom there. But guys, don't be we know Grant and I live it. We've lived it. We're living it now of having a very, very hard time to find a place to lease. It is rough out there.
Yeah. My farm I hunted this year was 15 acres.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
In Ohio.
Yep.
So
and both farms that I lease are both less than 100 here in Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we know your
tough.
struggles, and that's why we do
Yep.
hang out with outfitters and go with them.
Yep.
We try to find our places, and we haven't gave up because we've already talked about going again this year. So I'm not trying to discourage you.
Yeah, but there is nothing. You know, outfitters are awesome, but there is nothing more valuable and more gratifying, at least for me, than doing it yourself, planting a food plot, putting out mineral, watching the deer grow, running cameras, you know, doing all that stuff. But it takes a lot of work, and it takes, I mean, let's be honest, it takes a lot of money, you know, but if you're having a hard time, don't give up. Really consider going with an outfitter. You know, and there's a ton of really, really good outfitters. Just do your homework.
Do your homework. Don't pick the first one that has pictures.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because they might not even be their pictures. I've seen that before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, guys, we're going to get off here, and we'll see you guys next week. That's all I got for tonight. Anything else you got, Grant?
Nope. For the guys that are on the staff, come to the bash. That's all I can say at this moment.
That's right. Nate, you got anything, buddy?
Oh, I got one more thing.
What?
Be ready for March 1st. That's it. Because you're going down.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
All right.
You got anything, Nate, besides
2,100
acres that you didn't tell us about?
Okay. Yes, I have one thing.
Okay.
It's very important, and I didn't realize how big it was until I did a little bit of reading. We finally picked up Pandora.
Okay.
The last one. The link is on our purewhitetail.com/podcast.
Okay.
Podbean says it's 2 to 3 weeks to get picked up by Pandora. I actually found out on the internet this week that it can take 3 to 6 months for them to pick you up, and we got picked up in 5.
Wow.
5
awesome.
weeks.
Wow, that's awesome.
So
he gave himself the laughter and claps, but we never get laughter and claps, do we? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, see, he's laughing at us. So, all right. So, Nate, is that all you got besides 2,100 acres you haven't told us about the last 10 or 15 years?
pretty much.
Okay.
Deep breaths.
Yeah, deep breaths. Yeah, no kidding. So we're going to talk
all
about this off the air. So that's all I got, guys. Thanks again for following along with everything here at Pure Whitetail and the Pure Whitetail podcast. If there's anything that you would like for us to discuss on this podcast, please email at
podcast@purewhitetail.com.
podcast.
And we do have some emails that I haven't answered yet, but it's all about people that want to call in and stuff. So we'll discuss that.
We'll
this
start doing
week.
that more.
Yeah.
Yep. And like Grant said, March 1st is going to be a big one.
Because you're losing.
Okay. Yeah, I already know I'm losing. So, but also Pure Whitetail is about to introduce something that has never been done before in the hunting industry. And I honestly believe that we will be the talk of the entire industry, and there's going to be a lot of people that says, why didn't we do that first?
Yep.
And That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say anything else. Thanks, guys, for following along.
Pack your
bags. So, oh boy. So, thanks for following along with everything at Pure Whitetail. We love you guys. There's nothing more important than conservation of our great sport, and we're trying everything we can to make that happen. Love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Love you guys.